I'm Symphonie Privett. Thank you for joining us on Featured. We hope to inspire or simply make you smile with some uplifting stories from across the country. First up, let's take a walk down memory lane and go back to your senior year in high school. Were you excited, nervous, or scared about the next phase in life? I think I was pretty excited. Well, students over in Idaho are getting some help easing some of the anxiety they may be feeling. Adrielle Tackett explains how it's motivating them in the right direction.
This program has honestly changed my life.
A laptop, school supplies, and everyday living essentials. Things most students take for granted, but could make all the difference for some.
December of 2023 is when I first was kicked out of my parents' house, and that's how I became homeless.
Hallie Duncan, now a BSU student, faced homelessness for a recent period of her life.
I moved about 15 times, sleeping on people's couches, anywhere that I could, honestly, with friends or in my car.
She now thanks the College Starter Kit program for giving her the confidence to persevere through her challenges.
It definitely gave me that motivation to kind of push me in the right direction, for sure. January 2025, when I moved in on campus, that was the first time that I had like a bedroom.
The Idaho Department of Education's College Starter Kit opportunity is designed to give graduating seniors who've been homeless a fresh start.
So it includes bedding, linens, towels, pillows, luggage, hygiene items, laundry supplies, school supplies.
In the program, students receive a support system, meeting peers with similar experiences and trusted adults, something these young people may not have otherwise.
Losing my support system as my parents and moving out, I didn't really have that. And so finally realizing that I had this support system and these people who cared about me and my story, and that really changed my life, honestly.
That was Adrielle Tackett reporting. Now let's head over to the hardwood in Connecticut to highlight a trailblazer who went from being an NBA player to a coach. Kayla Cage shares how he's shaping young athletes in the same place where his career first began.
Scott Burrell traded the ball for a clipboard. Because of his basketball career, he has a lot to offer to young players.
And I just want to pave a path for other kids to not just get better in basketball, to be better socially and academically, and just grow their path.
For Scott Burrell, going from playing basketball to coaching was a layup. He's been patrolling the Southern Connecticut state sideline since 2015.
I want people to know how much fun you could have, where this sport can take you.
His winning game plan? Teaching students how to maximize potential. Forward Sharif Diarra and guard Sean James can attest to this.
He's a hard coach. He's a great coach, outstanding, and he just believes in me. And here, I just know that it's not the same everywhere else.
So even when he's getting on you, it's not like he dislikes you or anything. He just sees a lot of potential in you, and he wants the best for you.
Burrell leads by example. He's the first African-American head basketball coach in the history of the Northeast 10 Conference.
I mean, I'm definitely honored. I'm blessed. I feel like I want to help promote more African-American coaches to coach this league or even coach anywhere.
Burrell's basketball journey has been about defying the odds. It's a journey that took him to the highest level.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to get drafted, and I went to the NBA for 8 or 9 years, won a championship with Chicago, and now I'm here coaching.
He played for the Charlotte Hornets, Golden State Warriors, Chicago Bulls, and New Jersey Nets. His memorable ride began in Hamden, Connecticut.
Growing up in this area, you play against New Haven schools, West Haven, Bridgeport schools, so you're playing against some of the best talent in the state. And I knew I had to get better, so I worked hard and kept competing.
The Burrells are a sports family.
I used to go watch my dad coach at Yale. My mom was a softball player, and my brother played football too, so I was always around sports.
UConn offered Burrell a scholarship to continue his playing career. In 1993, the Charlotte Hornets drafted him with the 20th overall pick.
I was blessed and fortunate enough to play at the highest level with the best player to ever play played basketball. I was blessed to travel to like 20 different countries just because of basketball, meet so many different people, play golf with President Obama. I mean, I've been blessed because of basketball and what sports have done for me, to meet so many different people, to broaden my path.
Scott Burrell's career has taken him around the globe, but now he's back where it all began, in Connecticut, where he's inspiring the next generation of basketball players.
It's been more than I could even dream of being able to represent my home state and being able to play for a great coach like Coach Burrell.
I learned how to be a good character on and off the court. It translates, if you're good off the court, it translates on the court, and it just shows every night.
I want these kids to have the best experience when they're in college, but even have a better experience when they leave college. And I want them to be prepared. So try to prepare them on the court for future in life.
That was Kayla Cade reporting. Right, you know the saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, that certainly rings true at a Pennsylvania restaurant where its newest owner is keeping up with a family tradition that is 4 decades strong. Melissa Staninger explains the sentimental reason why things are staying the same.
When you enter Sweet Treat in Kingston, the walls behind the counter lined with yellow and black. A look that stayed the same for nearly 50 years. A nod to the founding owner, Jim Greer.
Yeah, his Steeler stuff will not go anywhere. Most of the stuff was given to him from customers.
The faces behind the counter haven't changed much in that time either. Some here for 44 years.
Parents that would come in and they bring their kids in their car seats, and now they're in college and they come back to visit.
But as the customers have grown throughout the generations, their menu prices have not.
Well, the regular one without the coffee used to be 89 cents, I think, when I started. Might have been cheaper, but that's what I remember anyway. I've been coming here since I'm like 4.
Tracy Yakimovich is keeping with tradition, a nod to her dad's dedication.
We have a largely elderly and teenage clientele. So, we do try to keep the prices as low as possible. My dad was adamant on keeping the prices as low as possible because both of those ages have limited incomes.
In the back, the third generation whipping up their grandpa's recipe just as he did for decades. And while the prices of these ingredients have gone up, they're still serving up a full breakfast for just $3.29.
Trying to absolutely keep the prices where they are, and that's not an easy thing. Eggs are outrageous right now, along with a lot of other things.
Amid inflation, egg shortages, and the bird flu outbreak, Tracy says she's toughing it out for just one reason.
For my dad, and that's honestly what I can say. I'm just trying to do. He loved this place so much, so I'm loving it for him.
And carrying on her dad's legacy through the people, the prices, and the pride in the place Jim loved the most. Melissa Steininger.
Sticking with sweet treats in Pennsylvania, a teenager is making a difference in her community, one cookie at a time. Gabrielle Mediak shows us how she's baking for better.
The smell of freshly baked chocolate chip cookies fills the halls of Hempfield High.
I've been baking just as long as I can remember. My mom was always a really good baker, so I would just help her out in the kitchen.
It's an activity and an aroma that reminds Alex Gregory of her childhood and of the endless possibilities that can be created when you mix the right ingredients.
I eat a lot of the desserts we make. I claim it's taste testing.
The senior was inspired to give back after reading a book called Free Lunch.
It was about these kids who didn't have enough money and support to be able to bring in their own packed lunches every day. I've been pretty fortunate in my life, and thinking about the kids that aren't as fortunate, I really want to help them out.
So she came up with the perfect recipe to help others. Baking for better.
With the help of my friends and community members, we make and sell baked goods and donate all proceeds, so every penny raised, to different charities around the world.
She founded the 501c3 organization in 2021 and has donated to at least 25 charities since.
Most of them do deal with sick and underprivileged kids, because that's something that really resonates with me and that's close to my heart.
Alex has raised more than $21,000 by baking delicious cookies just like this. Every single one of them
is made with love.
I make around 100 desserts. Sometimes within the first hour they're gone, and then other times we have some stuff left over, which we then give to the hospital for the workers to eat.
Balancing school, sports, and a demanding role as student council vice president, this young baker says the effort wouldn't be possible without her family and her community.
The most common reaction that I get is, how can I help? Which to me is amazing because, wow, these people actually really want to help. Everyone said, oh, I can bake something, I can donate some money, I can help set up, which is great because obviously I'll take as much help as I can get.
Proving that even the simplest acts of kindness can have the sweetest impact.
All right, I was paying attention to her recipe. Maybe I can borrow it next time I'm in the kitchen. And that was Gabrielle Mediak reporting. Stay right here. We are just getting started. Here's what's ahead on Featured. Round and round, round and round. An early morning concert on wheels. Sounds like my ride into work. We're taking you on board Mr. Bill's magical ride and learn what fuels him in the morning. Plus, a champion barrel racer knows all about the grit and grind of her sport, but now she's preparing for a different kind of battle, while she is encouraging women to advocate for themselves. Welcome back. Life on a ranch is not for the faint of heart. It's full of early mornings and late nights with a lot of hard work and competition. My old classmate, Hayden Balgavy, introduces us to a champion barrel racer who is facing her toughest battle yet in Arkansas.
I know it's cold, sis.
There's just something about a girl and her horse.
My sweet Callie girl.
And even on a cold morning, with cameras rolling,
she is soaking up the...
Lily and Callie are always up for a ride.
So I think her favorite part's being on camera.
Under the bright lights is just fine with Callie.
When the gates open for us to go, she goes and does her job.
In just 2 short months, Callie and Lily have competed from Oklahoma to Tennessee all the way to Georgia.
Yeah, so
Lily is constantly training for the next competition, but nothing could prepare her for the unexpected battle she is now facing.
In April of last year, in 24, I found a lump in my breast.
At just 32 years old, Lily needed a referral just to have a mammogram. Following the mammogram, ultrasound, and a biopsy a week later, Lily's concerns were unfortunately confirmed.
She went over the results with me. So she said, you know, your diagnosis is it's high-grade invasive ductal carcinoma.
Because Lily is genetically inclined to develop other types of cancer, she will undergo a double mastectomy with reconstruction at the same time, where she will be forced to rest for at least 6 weeks.
Operate a tractor daily. I oversee 50 horses, clean stalls, ride, you know, jump in and out of the bed of the truck to hook up to a horse trailer. And I won't be able to do any of that. So that's a little challenging, but I know it'll all work out.
She will also have to take a break from instructing and training the next generation of barrel racers.
You know, I've poured so much into my kids that ride with me over the years, and this is really a time where they're wanting to pour back into me.
It may be hard for this cowgirl to be patient, but for now, she is trading lessons on horses for lessons of hope for young women.
You know your body and stand up for yourself when it doesn't feel right. Because just because you're young, just because you're 32, doesn't mean that there can't be something going on.
It may be some time before Lily is back up on that horse. For now, she's grateful for the support from humans and horses alike.
You know, I think you reap what you sow, and I've seen that tenfold in this situation.
Good luck, Lily. We are all rooting for you. That was Hayden Balgavy reporting. All right, now, if you have kids, you know sometimes that little baby cooking in there cannot wait until mom makes it to the hospital. That's exactly what happened at a York, Pennsylvania hotel. The baby was ready to enter the world now, and security guard Cameron Fox just happened to be in the right place at the right time.
She was pregnant in labor and actively in labor. I put some gloves on and got down there to help her deliver her child.
The baby was born dark and early at 3:39 a.m. on January 23rd. Mom and dad reunited with Fox after the whirlwind experience. Listen to this.
They were very thankful. They were very gracious people. I just reassured them that, that's why I do this job. I enjoy being there and helping people, regardless of how large or small the hurdle is that they're facing.
The couple named their new bundle of joy Oliver. The hospital says baby and mom are healthy and adjusting well. Congratulations to them. All right, over to West Texas now, where some artists out there recently had their artwork put on display. Big accomplishment for them. They showed off their creativity and helped each other build confidence at the same time. Randall Case has their story.
We have a tattoo artist that's in the show. We, just working people, students, high school, college, all ages, realms, all kinds of people. So this show really is very diversified. So many different pieces of art, topics, subjects, colors, and it's just a lot of fun, honestly. Some of them were very unsure about putting their artwork in.
Doing this stuff, I never thought I would actually put it out in the world. It's mainly just for me.
But when they came in and they started seeing the other works, very excited. And just, especially the younger artists, I'm really excited for them because, some of them were in high school even. And so this is a big jump for them.
This is my first show in several years. Okay. So it's kind of getting back into it. I'm a little rusty and I wanted to start with something small. So.
I love seeing what people do in their spare time. It's not their day job. They just do it for fun, do it for therapy. So it's a really fun show and I think everybody is going to really enjoy it.
Doing all the monies and then I'll just mail out a check.
Okay.
So that's all you gotta do.
Wow.
Isn't that awesome?
I'm really excited, actually, yeah. This is something that I was scared of initially, and so that means that I had to do it. So usually, I'm always scared of the cliffs, and when I jump off the cliff, it's usually a curb in a proverbial sense, if that makes sense.
But you have to start somewhere. And I can remember the first one way back when, in '99, was, it was intimidating. It made you nervous, and it was quite an experience.
These shows really are a lot of fun because even the community of artists here that are very professional and have a name for themselves come to shows like this just to see the new artists, like who's coming out of their shell, who's interested in actually showing their work and getting into the world. And then a lot of them will just hang out after the show and that's why the chairs are in the yard, because they just hang out and talk to each other because they haven't seen each other in a while. So it's kind of a social gathering as well. It's just an opportunity to show their work in a gallery setting, which they may have never done before, and it's a learning opportunity as well.
Every day you should learn something new, always.
Like that. Every day you should learn something new. That was Randall Case reporting. Don't go anywhere. We have more good ahead for you. Two sisters team up for a great mission. How they're sharing their love of reading. Ooh, okay, I like this one. With kids on the other side of the country. Plus, this kayaker, you will not believe this, made a lucky escape and now lives to tell the tale. I'll explain up next. Welcome back. Let's check out what's buzzing online with some trending topics. So this first story sounds like it was ripped straight from an episode of The New Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. You're going to want to come to your TV to check out this incredible video. Here we go. This young man was kayaking with his father off the coast of Chile when he was swallowed by a whale. Yes, you heard me correctly. His dad captured the unbelievable moment on camera. The boy said he thought he was dead. I would too. But the whale released him after a few seconds, and I bet those seconds felt more like minutes. Thankfully, they both made it back to shore unharmed. Oh my goodness, what a story to tell. All right, we've got a question for you now. Is this a 2-year-old with a vision or a parent's worst nightmare? All right, you decide. Take a look. That's big. Oh my goodness. My little brother did the exact same thing, so this is like deja vu. This little tot decided it was time to, add a little razzle-dazzle to the color scheme in the living room with none other than a red permanent marker. Oh my goodness. In a viral Instagram video, little Christian proudly walks his mom over to the couch to give her a tour of his artwork. Now get this, mom is an interior designer. Well, many of you may have panicked in this situation. Mom stayed calm. People online have cracked a few jokes about the video, saying Christian was now for sale on eBay. Come on. Every little kid does that. All right. Let's head to a tennis match in Texas now, where the focus is on the ball boy, not the players. Kids typically start the job at around 12 years old, but as Richard Solomon tells us, a 66-year-old man isn't letting his age stop him.
At the Dallas Open, it's a game of chess, where young tennis players fight to be number one. But look just past them, and you'll see something that might catch your eye.
What we want to be is invisible.
Ball people are normally in their teens, but for Tony Downer,
you might imagine as like one of the only gray-haired ball people. They tend to remember who I am.
He's a 66-year-old ball boy.
People say, oh, age is just a number. Let me tell you, it helps to have a orthopedic, because I'm dealing with a titanium hip right now.
And he's wearing his age well.
I've done the last 9 U.S. Opens, and I did the 3 New York Opens when this tournament was in New York.
Mr. Downer started volunteering for the U.S. Open in 2016.
So I said to myself, okay, when my schedule frees up and I'm beginning my retirement, I got some unfinished business to attend to.
A passion for the sport he loves. Downer is one of 80 folks selected.
You have to be at least 12, and then the other age, we don't know. I guess we pushed it out.
Jim Mortcat is the ball kid coordinator. He says Tony, he's leaving an unforgettable mark on the kids.
The experienced person can teach the younger people or the newer people to the job. So, and that's really what he's doing.
And if you take anything away from Tony,
really encourage anybody who is a fan of the sport, who's got a sense of adventure and perhaps a little inner Peter Pan, to go ahead and explore.
You can always try new things at any age.
That was Richard Solomon reporting. Stick around with us to meet a leading lady who can play a doctor on stage and in real life. Hey there, thank you for staying with us on Featured. I'm Symphonie Privett. We're bringing you some uplifting stories from across the country, and this first one we're going to introduce you to, this is Kerry Good. He was once among the nation's elite athletes, but now he can hardly move. But his resolve is stronger than ever. Nick Kazuma takes us to Alabama to show us how Kerry is defying the odds and making a difference.
For Kerry Good, this is the sound of survival. A machine keeping him alive by doing something as simple as breathing. It's something most of us do every few seconds without even a thought. But for Kerry, it's been this way now for nearly 7 years.
I've got to have someone with me 24/7, 365. I am unable to just get away from it all.
For Kerry and others who live with a myotrophic lateral sclerosis, or ALS, the losses come in stages. The ability to walk, later to speak, eventually to breathe. A devastating reality Kerry had to face after he got the news in 2015.
Accepting my diagnosis was not all that difficult. I am a it is what it is kind of person. Deal with what is, not what you wish it to be.
If you go by the numbers, Kerry shouldn't be meeting with us today. He's far outlived the average life expectancy of someone with ALS. And while the disease has taken so much from this former top-tier athlete, it's also given him power and the realization
that I am a badass, and that I am tougher than a $2 steak. I have overcome things I would have never imagined. My ability to endure this disease daily amazes me. ALS will test every part of you.
It may be the biggest challenge of his life, but certainly not the first. In the early 1980s, Kerry Good was a star at Hazelwood High School in Town Creek. He helped lead his team to state championships in 1981 and 1982, starting one of the greatest dynasties in Alabama sports history. The program went on to claim 9 state titles in 20 years.
My fondest memories of Hazelwood High School was being a Golden Bear. That meant something to everyone that attended the school. Winning championships was something that drove us to be the best. We may be from a small town and high school, but I would put my money on the 11 that took the field for Hazelwood. At
the University of Alabama, the running back from Hazelwood became more than just a Lawrence County legend.
He's got one man to beat. It's going to be 99 yards and a touchdown.
Good racked up more than 700 total yards, scored 3 touchdowns, and was named the 1983 SEC Freshman of the Year.
Here comes Kerry Good. Touchdown easily, Alabama.
But a knee injury in his sophomore season opener, a game in which he found the end zone 3 times, would plague him throughout his playing days and shorten his pro career.
He's in a lot of pain. He's trying to walk. I doubt very seriously he'll be back in the ball game tonight. Right now, they're just going to pack it in ice.
Now living in suburban Atlanta, Kerry battles a terminal illness, but he doesn't do it alone. For behind this great man is a great woman.
My wife, Tanja, has been my biggest supporter. I get on her nerves, but she keeps coming back for more.
The two met while students at UA, and according to Tanja, it was love at first sight.
I noticed him, he noticed me, and we locked eyes, and as I was continuing on the class, we just didn't stop looking at each other.
Kerry and Tanja dated in college, and though they drifted apart for several years, they found their way back to each other and got married in 2003. The ALS diagnosis was a shock, but out of tragedy, opportunity. An opportunity to help others. They created the Good Foundation, which has raised about $500,000 for patients and families affected by ALS.
Tanja and I were sitting in the clinic waiting room, and patients were sharing horror stories about their ALS journey, and I wanted to do what we could to help others.
It has been the worst, best thing in the world. I mean, it is so fulfilling to see people and to help people.
Every morning, Tanja dresses and feeds Kerry. That can take up to 4 hours. For most of us, having to live with this ruthless disease or even watching someone we love struggle with its effects is unimaginable. But Tanja believes she was put on Earth, at least in part, so she could be there for Kerry.
It is not just for better. It is not just for richer. And it is not just for healthy times. You got to take the poor. You got to take the sick. You got to take it all. And when you say I'm down, you got to be down.
And for Kerry, who defies the odds every day he takes a breath, a life well lived is one in which you make an impact on the lives of others.
I set out to show the world the life of an ALS warrior, and most of all, I just wanted to show my children how to fight when things look and seem hopeless. Every day I wake up, I thank God for another day, and I find something that I want my kids to know. Maybe they will teach it to their children, and I can be a part of my grandchildren's life after I'm gone.
Oh my goodness, I love that story, and I love that he's still cracking jokes and he's still himself with his family. Great story. That was Nick Kuzma reporting. Right up next, let's head over to San Diego, where a doctor is treating people by day and at night. She is a star on the stage, honey. Her story is living proof. You don't have to choose between two passions, but the big question is, how does she juggle it all? Jeff Zevely shows us how.
At the end of a busy day here at the medical offices at Kaiser Permanente, the words "break a leg" are about to have a whole new meaning.
Dr. Heidi Meyer has 23 patients to care for today.
No vomiting or anything like that?
No vomiting.
Okay.
She's been a doctor for 14 years.
I love making people realize that maybe they're not as sick as they were thinking that they were. Do you feel like your muscles are as strong as they could be?
But for more than a decade, healthcare had to wait because Dr. Meyer was pulled by a passion to perform.
I just like to sing. in the car, in the kitchen, in school.
After polishing her act at Northwestern College, Heidi made this declaration.
I'm going to give this performing thing until I'm 30. And if it ain't working out, I'm going back to med school. And that's exactly what I ended up doing.
She performed in Miss Saigon on Broadway for nearly 3 years, at times with an annual salary not deserving of a standing ovation.
$21,000. To live in New York on $21,000, you have to know how to stretch a dollar.
So at age 30, as promised, Heidi moved to California to become a doctor.
And that's the day I got my white coat at UCSD Med School.
Now, after a busy day at the office, Dr. Meyer transforms into the leading lady in Hello, Dolly.
It's now 6 p.m. After working 8 hours at Kaiser, Dr. Meyer has just arrived at the San Diego Musical Theater for rehearsal.
So we're miking up. I think you have to have naturally high energy to be a performer.
When you go on stage, is your heart racing so much that a doctor needs to check your pulse?
No. No, not if I've done my work.
Dolly Levi, that's right, Mrs. Dolly Levi.
I think it's amazing, first of all, that she is so talented.
Ron Christopher Jones is the Hello, Dolly production manager.
It's so awesome to have someone who's in the healthcare field who really helps people all day and then comes here and just gives people like joy.
Parade passes by.
To anyone torn by two talents, Dr. Meyer offers this diagnosis.
It's never too late to be what you might have been, which is my favorite quote on earth.
When the curtains rise for Hello, Dolly,
I'm gonna raise a roof. I'm gonna carry on.
Rest assured, there's a doctor in the house. In the Zavoli zone, Jeff Sevely.
Hey, that's pretty cool. All right, moving on to our next story here. Let me introduce you to a dynamic duo. They are 7-year-old twin sisters, and they aren't authors, but they are passionate about reading. And now the twins are sharing their love for books with kids in need. Sean Martinelli explains how it all started in Virginia.
We'll tell you when we're done. Okay. Ow.
It started with a fall, but soon greatness will rise.
Got it. Got it.
Sisters Mackenzie and Sophie Paris are mastering the complex construction of the bedroom fort.
Well, it's a new, different version.
But recently, they discovered a secret.
Teamwork.
Teamwork.
Right.
When you put these two 7-year-old minds together,
Park!
You never know what might happen.
We just heard about the fires in LA, and we just lost everything.
Mackenzie and Sophie were especially concerned with kids who lost their books.
Because they need to learn how to read.
That led the pair to a plan. Who came up with the idea?
Us. Us.
A plan to collect books, then send them to Los Angeles. Did you tell your mom?
Yes, but we told our grandma first.
And what did she say?
She said, that's wonderful. We'll talk to your mom about it.
And so they did.
They are very energetic. I think they are very passionate at times about what they are doing in life.
With help from their mom, Amanda, the two organized a collection. They started in their neighborhood, then expanded to their school.
We put it out, and 2 hours later, I get a phone call from the school and said, hey, you need to come get the books. The box is completely full and it's overflowing.
We have collected 100 and, no, not 100. 1,000. 1,300. 21. 22. 23.
1,300 books and counting.
For heaven's sake, who got these books?
They'll soon be shipped out west to kids like them.
So we look at this one.
It's really heartwarming to see that something that they just had as a little idea has really grown, and I hope that they see that too.
At least they see the power of teamwork.
Yes. That's why teamwork makes the dream work.
And it also makes the finest forts. So the fort's all finished?
No!
In Round Hill, Virginia, Sean Martinelli.
Yeah, don't you mind our business?
That is right. Teamwork makes the dream work. Love that story. Can't wait to see what they're up to in about 10 years or so. All right, we still have more good for you straight ahead.
Every year we go, it reminds us of our vows and where we started, where our roots come from.
More than 40 years of marriage, and they are ba-da-ba-ba-ba, loving it. We share a family tradition that started at McDonald's. Welcome back. An online dating show that's taking the internet by storm. It's called Pop the Balloon or Find Love. And one of my best friends will not stop sending me their videos on Instagram. If you haven't seen it, here's your chance to get a little sneak peek. Brenda Lipinski met with the creators to get their perspective on what it takes to find some love these days.
Like people from all over are now like, hey, I want to be on your show. I want to be on the show. I want to find love.
Is it going to be a yes for you for him?
Yes. Arlette Amoli is the host of the show.
Definitely.
We got him! Helping couples match every Wednesday on YouTube. She and her husband, Bolia Mutundu, or BM for short, who produces the show, say the game is simple.
Let's go ahead and bring out our first single lady.
One person comes out, and a lineup of contestants are all given a red balloon.
If they're liking what they see so far, you know, if that person's their type, they still hold on to their balloon. However, if there's anything about this person that they're just like, nope, if I saw this person in real life, I would never approach them.
Hello, welcome in.
They pop their balloon.
Some contestants,
what's your name?
Making it clear.
My name is Uche.
Uche, how old are you?
They have standards.
If you don't understand the difference between like a good wig and a bad wig, we not gonna work out.
How did it start? Whose idea was it?
This guy here. Everyone always thinks it would be me, and I'm like, no, honestly, he presented the idea to me, and I was just, I was a little hesitant at first.
A trending idea BM saw and took to the next level.
Builds up so many different conversations, and you have real people that have 9-to-5 jobs coming out there trying to find love, and people are actually finding love.
Yeah.
Through their show and their own love story, they say putting yourself out there is key.
Go to dating events, go out, meet people. Like me, I met her by traveling. I met her in a different country, and I couldn't have met my woman in the same country that I was in.
Offering words of wisdom to those hoping to find that perfect match.
Honestly, just be yourself. Be transparent. Don't try to sugarcoat or hide anything, because if you want someone to like you for you, you do have to just put yourself out there.
Is it a yes for you for her?
Oui.
Oh, he said impressed. We got a match!
That was Brenda Lipinski reporting. Now, what is your idea of a romantic date? How about a romantic dinner with your loved one at McDonald's? Hey, been there, done that. Now, it may not be for everybody, but for a married couple in Texas, the fast food restaurant is a staple of their love. Sean Giggy explains.
I felt like I was in a dream, and it was a really nice dream.
Back in 1982, after a very long wedding day,
Takes us back.
Randy Fritz and his bride, Sandy, were hungry.
Boy, we did look tired there.
So Randy treated her to something fancy, or so he claimed.
I said, well, I know a really nice restaurant we can go to there. And she said, where? And I said, it's called Golden Arches.
Huh? What? I never heard of that.
Still dressed from the wedding, Randy pulled in, and Sandy looked up.
Oh, that's what you mean.
And she just looks at me and just starts laughing and shaking her head. And then we went in and had a good meal.
Sandy says that epitomized the sense of humor she loved about Randy. So it didn't surprise her. The real shocker is what has happened since.
Every year started becoming a tradition where we go to McDonald's.
For 43 years, they've celebrated their anniversary under those golden arches.
I never, ever imagined 43 years.
Through good times and bad, happy meals or sad meals, every year they showed up.
And came back here.
Unusual, but they're loving it.
Family tradition.
A love that's spread to their kids and grandkids.
Yeah, family tradition.
Even their local McDonald's here in Farmersville wanted to be part of it.
Well, I said to her, I would like to give you your anniversary dinners from here on out.
Randy and Sandy say their annual dinner date has only supersized their love.
Every year we go, it reminds us of our vows and
where we started,
where our roots come from.
Who wouldn't want that for their life?
Randy and Sandy say the greatest gift is each other.
Oh, yeah.
And all you need for a healthy marriage is faith in God with a side of fries.
I love that story. Sometimes, you know, you don't need a fancy restaurant. Some fast food will do. Although I will say, the last time my fiance took me to a McDonald's, I was about to cry because the ice cream machine was broken. Don't tell anyone else, you guys. Still ahead, most bus drivers pick up students, but this one also picks up spirits. We'll tell you how this ride to school makes a big difference. Welcome back. Let's jump back in time now when we had landline phones. Some of you won't even know what I'm talking about. And if we wanted to watch a popular movie at home, we went to Blockbuster to rent it. That was a good Friday night in the Privett household. Well, behind me here, you see a 90s themed experience in New York. It is called Back to the Video Store, where nostalgia and cocktails collide. Well, let's check it out. There's a vintage wall of VHS tapes, but there aren't any movies in there. What you will see is a list of ingredients for a mixed drink.
This is the main cocktail wall, so you're going to see shots, you're going to see all the drink titles here, your VHS. We've got some Men in Black, maybe a Toy Story. Do you like vodka? Do you like tequila? What do we have here? Okay, here you're going to see your Jaws. We've got our little sharks inside floating around in a pool of blood. Here, of course, the famous Caucasian, Big Lebowski. And then over here we have the Karate Kid. You've got your little chopsticks, little popcorn on top. Very fun.
I want to see the drink for the Spice World movie. I watched that little VHS so many times. All right, aside from drinks and food there's also some arcade games. Okay, sounds like a good time. The 90s theme bar is a pop-up experience curated by bucket listers. It's traveled to 9 other cities, including Miami and LA. Now, before we go, let me say goodbye on a happy note. There's a bus driver changing the tune for an entire school district in Missouri. Mike Bush takes us on the ride.
I don't think that was loud enough. Happy Friday, 1, 2, 3. Happy
Friday! He's not your ordinary bus driver, and this is no ordinary bus.
Happy Friday.
It's the school run that's music to everyone's ears. Welcome aboard Mr. Bill's Magical Ride.
Good morning.
Where every school day,
you know it's my favorite day of the week. Happy Friday.
Is a symphony of fun and learning.
Beautiful morning for it. It was a great morning.
The driver, Bill Nagel, is a 72-year-old retired food sales manager who traded in his briefcase for a bus key.
I retired from my food job that I had for 35 years, and I passed this building and saw a school bus out with a sign on it that they were hiring.
That was in 2017, and he's been driving ever since.
There's Elijah.
He's an awesome guy. He takes time to learn students' names. You can hear his bus coming up the street because usually he's on the loudspeaker.
Parents call him the singing bus driver.
The wheels on the bus go.
But he actually lets the kids do the singing.
Round and round, round and round.
And when they're not belting out tunes, they're turning the bus into a rolling zoo of playful animal sounds. It's a wake-up call of the best kind.
Yeah. I get to see my friends, and I also get to be with Mr. Bill. When I get on the bus, I always feel happy and joyful that Mr. Bill's here.
Swish, 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 watch him.
At a time when many school districts are struggling to find and keep bus drivers, Mr. Bill isn't just filling a seat, he's filling young hearts with enthusiasm for the day ahead.
He's a fun bus driver, and I think all kids should have one like him.
The wheels on the bus go round and round.
Mr. Bill solving an age-old riddle, how to make the wheels on the bus go round and straight into the hearts of an entire school district.
give yourself a round of applause. Really loud.
That was Mike Bush reporting. The wheels on this bus are coming to a halt. That is it for Featured, and I hope you found something that inspired you or simply made you smile. Until next time, make it a great one.